taking all the sunshine, bottle up the rain. Go where the wind blows, let it show the way. Open all the windows, let in all the light. You can pull the star.
Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to my podcast, A Brits Knits. My name is Brittany. I will be your host of the podcast today. I'll be sharing with you all of my knitty goodness. Don't have any embroidery or cross stitch this week, however, but there's a good reason for that. I actually have a finished object. I have finished object and I'm binding off on a project right now. So I had a lot going on this week as far as knitting goes. Also had a lot going on as far as work and homework went. So I had a lot to do this week and I got a lot done. So I'm super excited. I am so excited to be back. How many times can I say excited, first of all? Anyway, I am excited to be back with you guys for my second week here. This is my second podcast, and I'll just be sharing with you all of my knitty goodness, as well as a few new skeins of yarn that I've dyed that I'm so excited about. And I think that's it for this week. I don't have any books or new movies or anything that I watched this week. Like I said, it was a little bit, I'll talk about a TV show though. So that'll be kind of in the end. I'll do a little bit of knitting and kind of chat with you guys about a TV show, which is exciting. As far as where you can follow me, I do have an Instagram, A Brits Knits. I'll put everything down here as far as spelling goes. On Ravelry, I believe my handle is Brit Cook. I'll check on that though. I'll check for sure for you. And then of course here on YouTube. And if you do enjoy the podcast and you enjoyed last week's podcast, you'll kind of get a sense of what it's going to be like. Hopefully a little bit more this week that I'm a little less nervous. And then from there, I do hope you guys are subscribing to me here, enjoying my podcast. And if you are interested, of course, a little bell notification at the bottom to show you when I'm uploading. Usually it should be every Thursday. And feel free to like and comment. I will definitely interact with you. I've loved all of the comments from last week. Found some new podcasts, found a lot of stuff, and some new friends and Instagram friends and all that kind of stuff. So just, you know, go ahead and give me a chat and I'd love to talk with you. So let's go ahead and get into it. Sorry guys, I'm back. There's a shift in where I'm sitting. I had to get up. I heard the dog chewing on something. I was a little concerned. It was his bone, so he was being good. He's usually not. Usually somehow, even if it's up in a closet on the very top shelf or tucked away behind a door, he can find my shoes. So just wanted to make sure he wasn't chewing on any shoes. So let's get into the first segment here as to what I'm wearing. So I'm wearing my Find My Fade shawl by Andrea Mowry. This is probably the first shawl that I made about 2.5 years ago. It took me forever. This shawl is huge. If you know anything about it, you know that it's a huge shawl. But that being said, it's my most worn shawl. For the next segment, we'll do a what I'm drinking. I've got a cup, if you prefer to say pot, of coffee here, just with the Starbucks syrup and some cream. It's delicious. And yes, I did make this at home. I find it a lot cheaper to actually just make it at home and buy the Starbucks vanilla syrup. I think it's super delicious. But yeah, so that's what I'm drinking today. So some coffee. Been up since about 5:30, maybe 6ish, doing homework. And after that, I did attempt one of this and it did not go well. So I just said, you know what, we'll just take a moment. I had some lunch, cleaned the kitchen. Kitchen looks great. And then I was like, okay, settle down a little bit. So let's get into it. So without further ado, we'll get into finished objects. So this is something that I talked to you guys about last week. I told you that I was going to finish it by the end of June, and I finished it actually this week. So I'm super excited about it. The ends are not woven in, but it is blocked and it smells yummy. It smells like I got the pineapple wash. It's like the wash brand for those of you who might be inclined to know what that is. But I finished my Pavement sweater by Veera Valimaki, and I absolutely love it. I did pretty short sleeves because I figured this is going to be for work, and I'm not quite into the right above the elbow or the 3/4 sleeves, so I just made it a short sleeve. This is my first sweater. I have a few not pattern concerns, but me personally, like, I'm just kind of like, oh, well, it's my first sweater, is that I think it's a little wide. It's got quite a few inches of positive ease, which is fine because it wears well as like an oversized sweater. I did crop it. I know we had the debate, or I had a personal debate whether I was going to or not. So I actually didn't at first make it into a crop sweater. And then I was like, I don't know if I like the hip shaping for the Pavement. So what I did was I pulled it out and made it into a crop sweater. And I'm really happy with it. I'm really glad I made that decision. I am kind of into the crop sweater right now, as you'll see with one of my new cast-ons. And I think it'll wear really well. And it goes amazing. I just got this like white lace skirt. Oh my gosh, it goes so good with that. It just like lays over it super well. Not that I wore it out and about, but I just like tried it on with that, and I think it looks really good. Like I said, the ends are not woven in, but here it is. Like I said, it's pretty wide. It's got a lot of positive ease, but that's okay. My chief complaint is another me thing, is that I did, looks like the underarms, even when I was like knitting it, I kind of noticed they're a little loose, like the connection between the arm and then the body is a little loose. And so I don't know if that's normal for a first sweater or if that's normal in general. I didn't do any like research about how to do it, which was my mistake. I definitely should and will next time. And the other thing I noticed as I blocked it out is I have a dropped stitch, and so I did mark that. It's on the back for myself to pick it up before I am able to officially wear it. But the yarn is A Homespun House. I believe it's the Mirth colorway. It's absolutely gorgeous. I did alternate skeins. And again, it's cropped, so it hits about my waist, which is a good size or a good length, and it blocked out beautifully. It's super soft, and it's a little bit, I don't know, it's soft to begin with, but it's even softer now that I blocked it out, and it's dry, and I absolutely love it. So once I weave in the ends and fix that dropped stitch, it'll officially go into my closet, but I'm still gonna call it a finished object. I guess I can cheat a little bit. So that was my first object for this week. My half finished object is a shorty blueberry waffle sock. I have started another pair here out of my own hand-dyed yarn, and here it is. So I've got the cuff up here, of course, ends not woven in. Did a pretty long cuff, and I can put on my Ravelry page like how many rows that I did, and then this is my favorite part over here, this like super gold part, but it is a light base of pink with pink and gold speckles on it. It is absolutely lovely. I didn't do any sort of measurements on it. This was just kind of for fun. I wish that I had, now that I have the yarn, because of how much I love it. But I'm definitely gonna try and recreate it. I'm excited about this shorty sock. It took me about a day and a half, if that, to make. I did a short row heel, the Fish Lips Kiss heel. And yeah, it's great. I actually did the whole thing on a 9-inch circular, which was a mistake. The other one that I'm doing, I'm not doing on that one. It's a little bit more difficult, I think, but that is my half finished object. So now we're gonna go ahead and get into my works in progress. The first one that I have is also something else that is a lingering whip that I told you guys that I would also finish by the end of June. And I'm binding it off now, which is super exciting. It is my Whispering Pine shawl. It's by Molly from A Homespun House. The yarn is Legacy Fiber Arts, their Castle on a Hill colorway. I did mention last time that that kind of reminds me of Ed Sheeran, not Edward Scissorhands. And I love the color of it too. It's just this super soft green with some specks of like really beautiful colors of green. This was my first DK weight project. I absolutely love DK weight yarn. I have found out from doing this, as well as my next project I'll show you guys, but it is so much fun. It has a picot bind off, which is pretty exciting. I don't know if you guys will be able to see that. But yes, it's got a picot bind off. It's absolutely lovely, and I can't wait for it to block out. It does seem like a smaller shawl, I would say, but that's okay. I think it'll be great just to have all over the shoulders, like again at work. So I'm excited for that to be done. I do hope that I'll have it done by next week, although that picot bind off is kind of killing me, but I think it'll be worth it. So for my second work in progress, I actually have my Soldotna Crop. And it is gorgeous. I, in one night, cast on, did all the ribbing, short rows, and like the first 3 rounds of color work. It is, as many people have said, super addicting, but I am in love with my yarn, and I get to say that because I dyed it. It's absolutely gorgeous. I was attempting to do a Harry Potter Hufflepuff common room inspired colorway, or colors mixed together. Sorry, that's my dog. And I think I did a really good job is finding the colors that I was really comfortable with and that I loved a lot. And I think that all of these colors work well with my skin tone as well. I tend to gravitate towards light pink, greens, purples, greens, and browns. So I'll kind of show you what I've got here. So this is my green yarn, main color 1. I love the tone to it. It's got some pink in it as well, but I'm absolutely in love with the tones on this one. I think it's absolutely beautiful. And it's been a joy to work with my own yarn on such a fun project too. So I said that this was gonna be my next sweater, and I wasn't lying. So I'm excited about that. The other main color is this yellow. So of course, Hufflepuff. I don't like stark yellow. I like more of a tonal yellow. Not stark yellow. What am I trying to say? Like school bus yellow, maybe? You guys know what I'm talking about. That like really, really almost unnaturally yellow. I'm a big fan of tonals, and so this is what I came up with. It does have some browns in it, which I love. You can see the brown there, kind of speckled in there. So that's the yellow. The other 2 colors are this pink mixed with this brown. It's easier to see that way. There we go. This brown is so tonal. I love it. And this yarn is amazing. It's so squishy. It's making such a lovely, lovely sweater. So on my Instagram page, you can actually see the picture that I inspired my colors from. And I think I did a pretty good job. I'm pretty happy with it. So the yellow is gonna be like the body, and it'll have the splashes of green and brown. And then the lesser used color is gonna be this pink. It's gorgeous, but I thought that the other 3 colors for the body would work a lot better. So that's kind of what I worked on there. My last work in progress is a blanket. I showed it last week, did put a few rows on it, so I'll go ahead and show those rows, as well as the new color I'm adding. Move my coffee out of the way. So I added that purple color that is my sweater from A Homespun House, and I'm starting in on a new color here. Not sure who this is by, I'm not gonna lie. I think I showed it last week too. Okay, so I'm going to make a general note to myself to charge the camera battery before I podcast. Duh. So sorry about if there's any sort of change. I'm sure I'll see it super soon when I'm editing this, but I believe the last thing that I was going over was this colorway. This is what I'm putting in my blanket right now, my granny stripe blanket. So she's got some length, she's looking good, and I really can't wait until this is done. But the person who really can't wait for it to be done is my husband. He loves stealing all of my handmade blankets. He's a big blanket guy. And so one of my other crocheted blankets, it's just so much more simpler than the granny stripe. It's just literally crocheting back and forth. He absolutely adores that one. So I'm sure this one will be stolen as well. The other thing that I wanted to share with you guys this week is a new colorway that I made for myself. Oh my gosh, I'm super excited. So what I was doing was I was actually kind of testing to see how I liked all of my colors together for my Soldotna. What I came up with was this color. Okay, so this is the color that I came up with. Oh my gosh. I still can't believe that this is something that I did. It seems really hard to believe that I was able to create something so beautiful. And here it is in the caked version. It seems a lot darker. I don't know, I guess it's pretty dark. But I was just kind of playing around. I had 2 fingering undyed skeins left from my last order, and I just kind of figured, hey, let's have some fun. So I did. And well, first of all, obviously I think that the colors play very well together, or I wouldn't have picked them for my Soldotna. But second, this yarn is magical, I think. I think it's so gorgeous. So I'm trying to come up with some ideas as to some sort of 2-skeined project, probably just going to be a shawl, because I don't really want to make any socks. But again, I absolutely love this colorway. So I mean, it's got, again, those gold, some greens. Green got super dark in some places, almost black, brown, and pink, and it's absolutely gorgeous. So that was the only thing I dyed this week, other than what you've already seen as far as my color combos for my Soldotna go. I did dye those this week whenever they, like, immediately when they came in. I dyed those. So they're gorgeous. Can't believe that. I just feel like I'm getting better and better every time that I dye, and I've loved my color combinations so far. I think that they're just absolutely perfect together. So I'm excited to make this happen. I'm excited to make this happen, and from there I will definitely be purchasing some more yarn for myself to dye and to have some fun with. So I'm excited. The only other thing that I wanted to share this week was some future projects. So the first thing, of course, is that I do want to get my Whispering Pine shawl done. My Soldotna hopefully will be a quick knit. It's DK, my second DK project, and it's a cropped sweater, so hopefully it won't be too long. I'm hoping maybe about a month. I'm a little bit of I don't have as much time for knitting as I'd like to, just because of work and school. So I think that's probably pretty reasonable. The other thing I need to work on, of course, is my Penguono. Another languishing whip. I'll go ahead and pull that out right now. Give me 1 sec. So here's another languishing whip. It's a shawl. It's the Patronus shawl. It's got a pretty beautiful spine. It gets larger and then I think it's same size and comes back out to a point. But this was dyed up in kits. And then if you bought the kit, you would get like the pattern, I believe it was. So it's pretty, it's gorgeous. The colors are absolutely beautiful. Almost this like orangey color with that burgundy. So that's something that I'd like to finish as well. In addition to that, kind of the things that I want to start, I'll go ahead and pull that up. So the first thing is the no frills. As far as the yarn I'd like to use for that, I believe that's something that I'd be dyeing up myself and getting some mohair to go along with it. So that'll be gorgeous. The other thing, actually both by Megan from Bad Wolf Girl Studios, is her sea glass racerback. I think that takes like 3 or 4 skeins of yarn, I think at the very most. I have that in my stash, something I like to use up. And then the last thing that I would love to knit is also by Megan, is this. It is her Hogwarts History sweater, and it is absolutely gorgeous. So those will kind of be, I think, my next 3 things. I don't know if you can have a pattern, if there's a pattern emerging here, that my projects that I'm working on right now are the Soldotna Penguono, a blanket, so kind of bigger projects. I haven't picked up any like sock knitting or anything like that this week, simply because I've had my eye on finishing things over. That's not true. Just kidding. But other than that, and that took no time at all. Other than that, there was really nothing else that I had going on as far as smaller projects. So I think that's all I wanted to share with you guys today. If you have any questions, comments, anything to share, please just go ahead and put it down below. I'd love to hear about it. Anything that you're working on, if you have a podcast, what your Instagram is, anything like that. I'd love to go ahead and for you to share it so I can follow you. And again, if you just want to check out all of my social medias, everything will be listed down below. And I hope you definitely enjoyed the podcast today. I know it's been kind of up and down and doing a whole bunch of stuff because my poor planning of not charging the battery and the dog and just silly stuff like that. But I hope you definitely enjoyed this week, and I'm looking forward to doing a whole bunch of knitting and getting back to you, showing you next week all of the progress that I've made. So I hope you guys have a great rest of your week. Please share some of your works in progress with me, finished objects, whether that's in your Instagram account or just letting me know with a comment or a YouTube video, whatever it is you guys do. Let me know. I'd love to check it out. Have a great rest of your week, guys, and I'll see you next week here again with some more knitting and a new cup of coffee.